So this little guy is called Biggie, and he's one of 4 siblings. When he was born, he was very, very small, and he had to fight with his brothers and sisters for food. So instead of having to fight for his life, he ended up here. So all these guys are orphans. They don't have a mom, and there's different reasons for that. Some of the moms don't produce enough milk. Some have too many children. A sheep only have 2 teats. And when you have 3, 4, 5 lambs, some of them just won't get enough. One mom got sick and just couldn't care for any of her lambs. And some sheep are just bad moms. So I'm their new mom. I made a deal with some friends up the street who has a lot of sheep, that I could care for the bottle lambs and feed them and raise them. And at the end of the season, they will get them back, except for 2 that I'm gonna keep.
Dissa så den svarta.
At first I didn't think I'd get any lambs. Their success rate with putting orphan lambs in together with other sheep was too high. When a new mom with only 1 lamb has its lamb, they put the orphan ones underneath together with the new lamb and smear it in with all the goo from the mom. So when she turns around, she suddenly has 2. But after a while there were reports of orphans that were heading my way. So we cleaned and washed the whole room from when the buffaloes were here, or Henning cleaned and washed the whole room. We put some straw in there and got to borrow these great sheep panels, which are really nice. You can make the space here however you want it, and you can also divide it into smaller areas like this. I put the weakest ones in here during the night because of this guy. This is Jamie, and he can be a handful. He can also be a little too much when it's feeding time, so I put him in here so that the whole thing runs a little smoother and calmer. He's born a couple of weeks before the other ones and isn't quite aware of his size. It's almost like he's a 6-year-old kid running around playing a little too rough with 2-year-olds. So I found putting him in here when it's feeding time makes it a lot less stressful for everyone involved, except for Jamie though. But he also gets everything he needs at his own time. Now the reason he's called James or Jamie is that his AirTag number is 007, and of course then he had so of course his name had to be James or Jamie. This is Poopy. She got her name from when she pooped on my friend Henning on the first day. She's a female and will hopefully be here for the rest of her life. She has kind of slanted ear. It's almost as if the air can take the weight from the AirTag. This guy in here is called Stevie. He's not in tip-top shape, and I'm actually not sure if he'll make it. Right now it doesn't look all that great, but I'm going to do whatever I can to get him back into shape. And that's all the ones that have names for now. That means that there's 1 female and 2 males that don't have names yet. And if you have a suggestion, it can be a funny one too. Feel free to suggest it in the comments below. Biggie is definitely the smallest ram or sheep that I've ever seen, and he was even smaller before he got here. His siblings being normal sized is almost like his that character Danny DeVito played from the movie Twins, the one with the Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. His brothers being Arnold and himself with not getting a lot of nutrition in there, being much smaller and weaker than the others. Some do wonder if he's a dwarf, or is that allowed to say these days? I know there's a breed of goats called dwarf goats. Maybe we could just call him vertically challenged. Miniature is the word, miniature sheep. So some people do wonder if he's just a miniature sheep and will always stay shorter and smaller than the others, but we'll just have to wait and see. The most important thing is that he eats and that he's healthy. But I have noticed lately there's a cough when he's drinking. There's this gurgling sound, especially if he gets a bit eager on the bottle. So I'll try to give him smaller portions and hopefully that'll go away. He gets a lot of love and attention and has quickly become a bit of a favorite around here. So last night we got a new addition to the flock. There was a mom that had developed some mastitis and didn't take care of her kids because her teeth were hurting. So they don't get a lot of food and have started to eat grass, even though their stomach is not equipped for dealing with a whole bunch of grass yet. So they're a little bloated, but now they're here and we're gonna do what we can to get them back into shape. At least they look pretty cool, and of course they are two boys. So now we have 2 girls and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boys. So that means, and if you think the footage throughout this video has been kind of wobbly, this is the reason why. But that's just how it is. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Join me next week. Toodaloo.